and House Homeland Security Committee as well, serving on all of those committees in Congress. Congressman, thanks you so much for being with us. You know, the Biden administration has shifted to blaming these rising gas prices on Putin. It's the latest in a series of excuses for the rise in inflation. It is true that we've seen gas prices marginally go up. They were already going up before this war. What's going on? I mean, how high will they go, actually?
Don't know how high they will go. You know, it just keeps going up and up and up. And our president refuses, just plain refuses, to drill more here in the United States, make it easier for our energy sector to produce more oil and gas right here in the United States. Instead, they go off to our enemies in Venezuela and maybe even Iran and ask them to ramp up production in order to drive prices down. It's really, it's unbelievable.
You know, it's gotten very little coverage, Congressman, but you're right. They're on the cusp of potentially agreeing to yet another Iranian deal, which would open up the opportunity for us to import Iranian oil and also, if you're being clear-eyed about it, a path to an Iranian bomb. And Russians are sitting at the table in that conversation.
Yeah, so the Russians are actually negotiating for us in Iran for the Iranian deal. You know, I was a couple of weeks ago, I was in Israel. They are very concerned about the status of those negotiations and the ability of Iran to produce not just one or two nuclear bombs after, the expiration of about 2.5 years, but multiple nuclear bombs. And then on top of that, we're going to be buying Iranian oil, so we're going to be funding it here in the United States, or at least partially funding it with our money because we're buying their oil because our president refuses to produce oil right here in the United States. Just get us back to where we were before you were president, and we'd have more than enough oil here to offset the the embargo on Russian oil here in the United States.
Yeah, it just makes no sense to me, and I don't see how the American people are going to buy it, that we're not going to get oil from one Russian, an authoritarian, evil leader in Russia, but it's okay to get oil from Nicolas Maduro and from, the mullahs in Iran who are sponsoring terrorism against Americans. How do they think they can get away with it? Because it makes no logical sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and they're not going to get away with it because we're going to continue to tell the American people the truth. Look, they tried to deny that they went down to Venezuela to try to cut a deal. They were just talking about prisoners, and they weren't. The leader that we recognize as the leader of Venezuela is actually Juan Guaido.
That's right.
He said that they went there to cut a deal and actually get permits for Chevron to begin producing in Venezuela. And so after everybody found out what they were doing and all the blowback came from how ridiculous and really it's hypocritical that you're saying no to Putin, and yet you are saying yes to Venezuela, Putin's biggest ally in our part of the world, and a dictator, and then you think that that's okay. Now they say, no, we never went down there to do that. Well, you know what? I think I believe President Guaido way over before I believe President Biden. Never, ever believe what the Biden administration tells you. Oh, you always got to see what they're actually doing, and then the truth will come out.
Yeah.
It's true. By the way, we're out of time, Congressman, but we appreciate your introduction of a bill to try to end the mask mandates at airports and transportation hubs. I know they've extended it. Appreciate your attempts to do so.
Yeah.
Let's hope
it's again another ridiculous thing that we continue to do. It's probably the cleanest air we breathe is actually in an airplane. Makes absolutely no sense, but nothing that this administration does